Hello, everybody. Welcome to another show of the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayala. Today, we are recapping the NFL game from Week One, from the game that I saw, that I liked, that I did not like, and and that we gonna detail it in my term of the NFL season. So the NFL season is back. Week one is wrapped up. That being said, let's go. Now we are gonna recap it the game of my choosing or the game that I did predicted rather than choosing that I predicted. So let's start. Um, my New Orleans Saints versus the Arizona Cardinals. A great win from the Arizona Cardinals, 20-13. Um, Kyler Murray had 21 completion, 21 attempt, threw 163 yard, had two touchdowns and five sack on a rushing game. Um, J- James Conner, he attended 12. He had 39 yard and no touchdown. T. Benson had 8 attempt, 69 yard and no touchdown. On the receiving side, Marvin Harrison Jr. He had a great game. He had a good game. He was targeted 5 6 times. He had 5 reception, ran for 71 yard, and had one touchdown. Also, James Conner. We recently talked about the rushing. On the receiving, was targeted 4 times. Had a 5 yard and one touchdown. On the defensive side, if I'm not mistaken, uh, B Browning, the offline the OLB the OLB had uh, one sack, for tackle for one tackle and so on and so forth. Good game for the Cardinal. Now for my Saints, um, Spencer Rattler had uh, let's say he had a decent game. He had 27 completion, um, 46 of 10, threw for 214 yards. On the rushing, Alvin Kamara had had, attended 11, went for 45 yard and one touchdown on the rushing game. But in the receiving, uh, Johnson he was targeted 11 times, 8 reception, 76 yard, uh, no touchdown. Actually, all the wide receivers didn't have no touchdown, including Chris Olave, who was targeted 13 times. He received 7 times, has 54 yards. He averaged 7.7 in average. St. Johnson has 9.5 average. He averaged 9.5. On the defensive side, whew, I mean, Demario Davis uh, forced tackle twice. Wardner had one sack. Same thing with Grandison had 1.5 sack. Same thing with Cam Jordan 1.5 sack. Taylor one sack. What can I say about this game? This game, I'm glad I did predicted the Arizona Cardinal will win because I don't trust my quarterback Spencer Rattler on the beginning. Even I said that in my prediction, you can rewatch it on my channel, YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True podcast. I said this that the New Orleans Saints are in the rebuild, not just in the team, but off in the front office too. And I said this: Spencer Rattler's not the guy. And I know Kellen Moore, that was his first year as a head coach. I think he will adjust. because he's a pretty much a quarterback guru. So I'm not gonna be surprised. But also that 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 team is gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long season. Actually, all those teams. One game does not define the season, but well, for some of them, but most of them are in the rebuild or not Super Bowl contenders. It's going to be a long process. So it's yeah, it's going to be a long process for my New Orleans Saints. That's all I'm going to say. Next game, the Titans versus the Broncos. A great win for the Broncos, 20-12. For the uh, for the for the Titan, Cam Ward made his season debut. He had 12 completion, 28 attempts. He threw 112 yards, averaging 9.3. He was sacked 6 times. But on the rushing game, Tony Pollard uh, attempted 18, went for 60 yards and no touchdown. That the biggest one. On the wide receiving, oh man, none of them went above 30 yard. But if you combine with uh, Calvin Ridley and T. Pollard, I mean, if you calculate very well, they had probably like 70 yards, something like that. 60 yard, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, 56 yard combined, 56 yard in combined in the rushing game. Actually, yeah, in the receiving side. But in the defensive side, not much to say other than Justin Simmons. Defensive tackle, had 1 sack on quarterback. On the Broncos side, Bo Nix had completed 25 times, attended 40, had threw for 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interception, and 1 sack. On the rushing, um, Harvey had he had 70 yards and no touchdown. Dobbin 63 yard, 1 touchdown. On the receiving side, um, Courtney's son had 6 receivings from 61 yard and 1 touchdown. Who else in the defensive side? On the defensive side, not much to say other than the Strand. I don't. Sorry if I butcher your name, but linebacker Strand had 1 sacked sacked in this game. What can I say about this game? I can say that I wasn't pleased about this game. I wasn't happy with Bo Nix, and I wasn't happy with both sides. I wasn't happy for Cam Ward too. I mean, Bo Nix. I thought he's gonna get to a leap, but unfortunately, um, with two interception, it's not good enough. And I know the Broncos could make a noise in the playoff. I think they're gonna be a wild card, but to me, it's like the Broncos. It's just one game, but it's not enough. So I think Bo Nix, out of the next game, he will be good. Next game, another boring game. The Houston Texans versus the Rams. Great win for the Rams, 14-9. Let's start with the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud he completed 19 and had 27 attempts, had 188 yards and 1 interception and 3 sacks. Nick Chubb make his debut with the Houston Texans. Had 30 of 10 and had 60 yards. On the receiving side, oof, I don't think none of them had over like what 50 yard, 50 yard. Like Higgins, Hutchinson, Schultz, Watson, Collin, and Stover uh, had not one more than 50 yard. I understand that because the Rams on their defensive side is pretty insane. So I can't blame. Is you going to against a great defensive team. Now let's go to the Rams side and read the stat. Matthew Stafford, he completed 21, attended 29, had 245 yards, one touchdown, and got three sacks. On the rushing, uh, K. Williams had 60 yards, attended 18, and had one touchdown. On the receiving, Pua Nakua was targeted 11 times, had 10 receptions for 130 yards. Uh, Devontae Adams made his debut with the Rams in the season. He was four reception, was targeted 8 times for 51 yards. And you know when age comes up, um, you you increase yourself. So what? This game was pretty much boring. I got nothing to say about this game. Matter of fact, it was a boring game. Great win for the Rams. Move on from the game because I felt that game was so boring to me, in my opinion. Now, one game I was pretty excited. The Lions vs the Packers. Um, Great win for the Packers, 27-13. Let's read the stats. Jared Goff, he had 31 completion, had 39 attempts, threw 225 yards, one touchdown, one interception, four sack. David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. I mean, they didn't even went uh 50 plus yard. Com Combined. I mean combined is like what? Like what? 50 yard? 50 yard, probably 45, 40, 42 yards, something like that. I mean, my God. My God. Yeah, 44 yard. Not even 50 yard. 44 yard in combined, which is pretty much insane that they could go uh uh 40 44 yard in a combination. Now the wide receiver Laporta had 39 yards, had six receptions, targeted nine times. Uh, Amarson Brown did not have a good game. 45 yard, targeted six times, and let's read the other stat. Then I'll give my opinion on this. The the Packers had a tremendous game. Jordan Love completed 16 times. He attended 22, had 188 yards, had two touchdowns, and he averaged 11.8. On a rushing, Josh Jacob, 66 yards and one touchdown. On a receiving, uh, the wide receiver, Dubs had 68 yards in targeted four times, two reception. Michael Parsons made his debut. Michael Parsons made his debut on the defensive side. He had uh, one tackle turnovers. Um, uh, had sacked one time, and he had um, tackle one time and forced tackle. I will say this. So what can I say about this game? The Lions are not the same because Ben Johnson left to coach the Chicago Bears, who will play on Monday night. He will play Monday night. So I think they lost their identity on the offensive side because Ben Johnson is gone, and the way the Detroit Lions played, it was pretty much I think they lost their identity a little bit on the offensive side. Defensive side is okay, but the offensive side it's not that good. Now for the Packers, remember when I said the Packers are in the contention? They had one more player, and Micah Parsons was the answer, and he did not disappoint. He did not disappoint me in this season, and they give them the Lion a beatdown, and I mean a beatdown a beatdown without scoring more points, especially on the defensive side. So great win um for the Packers. So I was just going to give the results, but not reading the stats. So 49 for the Seahawks, great win for the 49ers, 17-13. Panthers for the Jaguar, great win for the Jaguar, and the debut of Travis Hunter with 33 yards, 26-10. Raiders and Patriots, 20-13, great win for the Raiders. And I'm gonna keep it for last, but let's I'm gonna keep it for last, but let's talk about the um, the Buccaneers versus the Atlanta 23-20 Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Uh, the Buccaneers Baker Mayfield had 17 completion, was attended 32, had 167 yards, and had three touchdowns. On the rushing, um, I mean rushing. Other than Irving had 37 yards, nothing special. But in the receiving, the rookie Egbuka had it was targeted four times, had 67 yards and two touchdowns. Two touchdowns. I mean, at the last moment, especially the last moment when Baker Mayfield threw the ball. I think it was like in the 1 minute, something like that. Threw the ball, Abuka touchdown. So what can I say about this game? Other than reading the Falcons, that Michael Penix Jr. had 27 completed 27 attended 42, had one touchdown. On the receiving side, B. John Robinson, the rushing wasn't that perfect at all. B. John Robinson, 24 yard. In the receiving, I'm surprised that I think B. John Robinson had well, they got like 100 yard, one touchdown. I'm surprised that Mike Evans did not play. It's kind of weird, but I don't know why. I don't know why he did not play. So it's kind of weird. No, sorry, no, that's not Michael. I mean, Mike Evans played for the Buccaneers. What did I say? What did I say? I mean, damn, what did I say with the Falcons? He played for the Buccaneers. Well, since I talk about Mike Evans, he had 51 yards, five reception, and targeted eight times, touchdown. For that, what can I say? You know, those pivotal games are very important, especially on the last one with the kicker of the Falcon, Koo, I believe that's his name, Koo, missed the field goal at the last moment uh, that couldn't win the game, but he missed it. So what can I say about this game? Baker Mayfield showed me his true leadership, and the Buccaneers probably they're gonna win the NFC South. Other other than the Atlanta Falcons, the Panther and the Saints they're not winning it. But the Panther could be a wild card. The Saints, like I said, they're middle of the nowhere in a rebuild. As a Saints fan, it's paying me to say this, but it is what it is. But for the Buccaneers, I say Baker Mayfield showing leadership in the as a quarterback for the Buccaneers, and I think when he and I think that's very important that the NFL humble you. And I was listening to Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, and he said something that it pretty much resonated uh what he said with other players that the NFL can humble you because those arrogant things you did in college and will not work in the NFL. So I think it humbled him in a certain way, but I'm glad he got a win. And for the Falcons, and I know people will tell me, I mean, Michael Penny Jr. Penny Jr. Yes, yes, Michael Penny Jr. did. He had, I mean, he played the last couple of seasons, the last couple of seasons last year, and I know he started a quarterback last year and the last season of the NFL, but he proved me something that I think he's continuing to trend up, and I think he's gonna go to that route. So, and for the kicker, don't lose hope. It's just one game, but don't. But they need a go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Next game, you had the Washington Commanders versus the New York Giants, 21-6 for the Commanders. So for the Commanders, Russell Wilson had completed 17, attended 37, had 168 yards, and he got sacked twice. On the, I mean, the running game is not. I don't think I'm not gonna with the run back. Even the wide receiver, under the Malik Neighbor has 71 yards, receive it 5 times, targeted 12 times. And it also was the debut of Abdul Carter. So Abdul Carter has 0.5 sack. That's it. That's his rookie year. It's normal. What can I say about this game? Actually, before I continue, before I continue my opinion, let's read the Commanders game. So, Jaden Daniel, Jaden Daniel had, um, Jaden Daniel had completed 19, attended 13, had 233 yards, one touchdown, three sacked. On the rushing, other than Krosky, Merritt had 82 yards, one touchdown, which is pretty good. On the receiving, Debo Samuel debut with the Commanders had 77 yards, reception 7 times, targeted 10 times. Zach Ertz, 26 yards, got one touchdown. So what can I say about this game? Let's say Commanders, they're gonna probably gonna win the division. No question about that. I got nothing to say about the Commanders. But for the Giants, I think the Giants were spoiled because we saw the preseason, which I watched. They were so excited to win this, and then hope uh their hope was crumbled after their loss against the Commanders. And I will now rush Jason. What was it, Jackson? I think it was Jackson Dart. The I will not rush the rookie because their offensive line was awful, awful. If I had a Giant fan, just wear a brown paper bag. And I know they say New York, it, there's no patience in New York, but guess what? You need patience in New York. Okay, you need patience. I understand if you're a New Yorker who's watching this podcast would tell me there's no patience in New York. Well, goddamn, I know that there's no patience, man. I mean, give it time. And I mean, Jackson Dark will not start um until I'll give him week 5, week 6. So Jackson Dark is not going to start, but Russell Wilson is your QB, and that's all I got to say about the Russell Wilson. Other than that, I saw Malik Neighbor confronting head coach of the New York Giants. I think he was frustrated. He was frustrated. I do understand that because because his um His he's on the line. The coach of the New York Giants career is on the line because he can be fired in the next couple of weeks if he doesn't win. So to me, so be patient, Giant fan. Be patient. Everything will be all right. Next game. This is one of my favorite games. This is one of my favorite games that I watch. The Steelers versus the Jets. Aaron Rodgers come back to the Metlife Stadium. Justin Fields starting the QB for the Jets. That was an excellent game. I loved it from the beginning and to the end of this game. Aaron Rodgers showed why he like people say he's a bad man with 22 completion, 30 up 10, have 244 yard, 4 touchdown, 4 sacked. On the rushing, Warren had 37 yard. Okay, in the receiving, DK Metcalf made his debut, had 83 yard, targeted 7 times, had 4 reception. Austin, 6 target, 4 reception, 70 yard, and 1 touchdown. Compared to the Jet with Justin Field. I mean, Justin Field balled out. I mean, he balled out. I was so proud of him. 60 completion, 22 attempt, 218 yard, 1 touchdown, 1 sack. Brees Hall. Woo! Woo! Oh boy, Brees Hall killing the defense. Killing the defense. Brees Hall, 19 of 10, had 107 yard. I mean, my God. In the receiving, Gary Wilson, um, he was targeted 9 times, 7 reception, 95 yard, 1 touchdown. I mean, I mean, let me tell you what. This game, I was like, oh my God. I don't know what to say about this game. Out of the end, also was amazing when Justin Field threw the ball at I believe it was Gary Wilson and uh and Jane Ramsey tackled him, and that made it won the game. Even though their defense sucked, theater fans. Yes, I said that. Your defense sucked. Your defense sucked as hell. As hell. I'm sorry, but that was a great game. Justin Fields should not be ashamed. I mean, he should put a hat. And also, it was Coach Glenn's debut of the New York Jets. So I got nothing to say about that. Aaron Rodgers still Aaron Rodgers, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Next game, the Bengals versus the Browns, 17-16. The Bengals finally won a game one, week one under belt. Joe Burrow has 14 completion, 23 attempt, had 113 yard, one touchdown, 3 sacks. On the rushing, not so much. Brown had 21 attempts, 43 yard, 1 touchdown. On the wide receiving, it wasn't that pretty. I mean, T. Higgin and Jamal Chase not having 50 plus yard and not having um I mean they didn't even crack 60 yard together. I mean they didn't even crack 60 yard. So what can I say? Actually, what can I say about the Bengals? Because I got nothing to say with the Brown other than Joe Flacco, 31 completion, 45 yard, up 10, 290 yard, 1 touchdown, 2 interception, 2 sack. Um, Jerry Judy in the receiving 66 yard, 5 reception, 8 target. Tillman 52 yard, 1 touchdown on the rushing. And there's nothing to say about the rushing. The rushing, um, it wasn't perfect for the Brown, but their defense was legit. Miles Garrett doing his thing. I mean, oh my God, Miles Garrett is a beast. So what can I say about this game? Yes, it was a boring game, but it's just one game. I think the Bengals probably going to improve. The Browns probably going to improve, but it was a good game. Next game, we uh, we had the Dolphins versus the Colts. The Colts dismantled the Miami Dolphins, 33-8. Uh, Tua Tagovailoa, Tua Tagovailoa, 14 completion, 23 of 10, had 114 yard, one touchdown, two interceptions, three sacked. Uh, and rushing, Uh, Aken has a 55 yard and no touchdown. Receiving, it's not that perfect. Tyreek Hill, 40 yard, six target, four reception, no touchdown. Same thing with Waddle, five target, four reception, 30 yard. On the coach side, Daniel Jones had 22 completion, 29 of 10, had 272 yards, one touchdown, one sack. Jonathan Taylor, 71 yards, 18 of 10. On the receiving, uh, Matt Pittman had targeted eight times, received six times, and had 80 yards, one touchdown. What can I say about this game? What It showed me the true identity of the Miami Heat, that they have issue everywhere, offense and defense. For the Colts, a good game. Daniel Jones lights out during the opening season. What more can I say about the Miami Dolphins? This is probably going to be a disaster, but I think there's still hope. I don't think they're going to win the AFC East, but I think that they need to regroup or to rebuild. I don't know what's going on, and I don't think Mike Daniel should be under fire because yes, it's just one game, but that's not his fault. I think it'll be okay for the Miami Dolphins to go back to the drawing board, focus on the next game. The coach, I know it's just one game, but I don't think, like I said, personally, John making the play. But Daniel Jones, if he continue like that, in my opinion, they're gonna prove me wrong. They're probably gonna make some noise. So I'll keep reading my eye on the Colts more this season. And finally, the main event: Ravens versus the Bills. Great win for the Bills, 41-40, with an epic comeback from the Bills. So let's start with the Baltimore. Lamar Jackson completed 14, attended 19, had 209 yards, had two touchdowns, two sacks. Derrick Henry, 18 attempts, 169 yards, two touchdown, forced a fumble. They've, yeah, in a rushing, but in the reception, Dave Flowers had targeted nine times, received seven, had 143 yards, and had one touchdown. D Hop, two reception, 35 yard, one touchdown. Oh, let's go over the Bills. Josh Allen, 33 completion, 46 of 10, 394 yard, two touchdown, one sack. On the on the rushing, James Cook had 44 yard and one touchdown. And the receiving, Keenan Coleman, eight reception, target 11, had 112 yard, one touchdown. What can I say about this game? Great comeback. And you telling me what was the collapse? Whether it was the Bill comeback or Raven collapse? Is probably the Raven collapse. I can say you that. I can tell you that. So I think you don't force a fumble, Derrick Henry, and it happened. That's the first time that happened to him. He learned his mistake. Gonna go back to the drawing board, focus on the next game. So, do you think the hope of the Baltimore Ravens going to the Super Bowl is dwindled down? No, it's just one game. It and one game doesn't define the season. Like I said, Baltimore is still going to be in the conversation as Super Bowl contender in the playoffs. Now, for the Bills, it shows me why Josh Allen, in my opinion, was MVP. And I know that the AFC, the Bills wasn't perfect, especially at the end, but it shows me that the true character of this team, and also the final kick that led the win, which was pretty great. So it's not the end for the Baltimore; it's the beginning of it. For the Bills, I think they could be actually both teams can be contender for the Super Bowl champion. So I'm gonna admit that the Bills could be a threat in the AFC. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Well, thank you very much for listening to this NFL recap week one, and I hope Wednesday I'll do my prediction via on YouTube channel on my YouTube channel. Too good to be true, because I don't know why we can uh, do live on my Instagram like I always does, and I posted on my YouTube channel, but I don't know why what's going on with Instagram. Somebody tell me, leave the comment on my video. And also that we are gonna continue doing my part two of the Too Good to Be True podcast that I did well, let's say Saturday morning here in France. Talk about the Kawhi Leonard situation and the sneaker release. Part one, I will release it when the time is right, because when the time is right, yeah, when the time is right, because it was from Saturday, so I think that I will probably modify, not modify, probably gonna write it on my description. And for part two, I'm probably gonna do Saturday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning here. But thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to follow me on social media, on Instagram, Pascal underscore Mayara underscore 15. Also on Thread, on Facebook, Pascal Mayara. On X, formerly Twitter, it's at Belly versus PMM. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So that being said, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.